reminiscing loved ones, recalling past joys, or just remembering how to walk and talk and fry an egg. Memory is the chain that connects our past to our present. If it breaks, we're left untethered, incapable of leaving the present moment and unable to embrace the future.
Remember when there were no MP3s but CDs? Didn't care about germs, no concern of disease. Street lights came on, we high-fived and we leave. Back in the days it wasn't so hard to believe that I would wake up as the Black Power Ranger, never scared of danger, snapping my fingers to the beat of my drum. Became addicted to fun, we would fight with our hands, never needed a gun. We would gladly chill in the house, play mom and daddy. The greatest feeling was when nobody could ever tag me. So happy, not being the last to be chosen, to run to the candy lady to buy us a frozen. We was just kids up to no good. Remember the first time you watched Boys in the Hood? Rat tail in the back while my barber fades me. Do you remember when? Yes, no, maybe.
When you would hear a song you like and you felt like it was about your life. Remember when you would write a letter to your girlfriend and she would read it to all of her girlfriends. Remember staying up all night, talking on the phone. Remember skipping class with your homeboys.
Yeah.
Remember G.I.
Hey yo, I wrote the shit up all day. A long stay in the hallway. Harking back to an era of the tape play. Hitting on the track well, on the max cell. With the spitting, the beginning of a rap tale. Elastic scoop, the loop shine vividly. In due time, produce rhyme synergy. And for the longest caught the blinking of the torment. Till England of performance, still thinking of us dormant. And so it be, who hold close and kept dear, were left there, won't know folks by next year. For ties cut, invest shares, perplex peers, rise up, reflect fear, for hex snares, the rest cheer. Know we did it for a purpose. Poem of a kid who never did scratch surface. Until we own it, respect the craft from proponents. Cause it ain't over till the song.
Remember what? You would hear a song you like, and you felt like it was about your life. Remember when you
Check
would write
one.
a letter to your girlfriend, and she would read it to all of her girlfriends. Remember staying up all night, talking on the phone. Remember skipping class with your homeboys. Remember G.I. Joe.
I used to play Mortal Kombat with Matthew. I swore he used to cheat. I swear I could never beat him. Those sour jawbreakers, I swear I could never eat him. Baddest chick in the school, I swear I could never meet her. Until I wrote her a letter telling her I'm a singer. Me and Terrence would draw pictures of sneakers. Me and Ashley used to be in the class singing. I wrote my first rap in the back of the class thinking, I'm feeling it, yeah. Feel alive, did you get feeling alive? If you feel it, raise your L in the sky. I remember selling my mixtape in high school. They was really kinda supportive at my school. I was selling cassette tapes for $5. I was making my own beats, I was beatboxing.
Brown, brown sugar, that brown, brown, hey. 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 Brown, brown sugar, that brown, brown, hey.
What's up, everybody, on what is today? Yeah, Thursday afternoon here in South Florida. It's a Thursday, September 3rd. We are definitely live, 100% live. That's not a recording, not a Joe Biden type show, all the way live. So, I'm in a good mood. Actually, I'm always in a good mood, it seems, when I do this. It has become a lot of fun, and I'm enjoying it more and more, trying to hone in as to what I'm going to be covering. In case you haven't been here before, my name is Barry Cunningham. I'm a real estate investor here in South Florida. I've been involved in over 1,000 plus closed transactions, and now looking at real estate development as well. Had a great radio show. I thought it was great years ago. decided to get back into this in radio, and now getting my feet wet and trying to figure out how I want to do it. Do I want to do interviews? Do I want stories, interviews and stories? Want to talk about how to make money? I'm not interested in talking about how to make money. There's all kinds of places online that you can talk about, read these things and how-tos, and I do this from experience. I've been doing this for 20 years. So let's just talk news, and then we can talk the impact it's having on the market. So if you've been watching or you've had a chance to check out some of my other videos, this week has been really, really, really important. We've had the extension of Ron DeSantis's moratorium, his executive order to go ahead and make sure that we're pushed through to October 1st. In that day, on that show, when it was extended, I told you a bit of a secret. I told you that there is no way possible that Ron DeSantis was going to let evictions resume right before an election. It's just no. I said, hey, you might as well. And I actually said these words. You can go back and look in the video. I actually said, why don't you just make it through November 15th or whatever? We know you're not going to close it down on October 1st. Not going to happen. You're not going to, in a state such as Florida, which is so close to being, one of the tipping points of the election, there's no way you're going to throw thousands, maybe tens of thousands of people out of their homes right before an election. Ain't going to happen. I think that I didn't need a giant crystal ball for that. I mean, I always talk about having, a crystal ball here in real estate. And what are we, looking at? It wasn't much of a stretch to see where things were headed. If you just looked at this thing from a rational perspective, Florida is considered a swing state, the big swing state. With that being said, if the eviction moratorium were to expire on October 1st, then there would be a lot of people potentially evicted prior to November 3rd, the election day. Anyone with half a brain would know that's not good for Governor DeSantis, who's also tied to the president. Hey, Ron, you might want to do something about this. So DeSantis goes, okay, we'll go to October 1st. Wink, wink. And lo and behold, the president steps in. The president steps in and goes, hey, I'm just going to take this over right now. I'm going to issue a declaration that through the CDC, very crafty. And we're going to take this thing past the election period. We're going to push it all the way to December 31st. Whoa. So, and of course, DeSantis is going to go in line with that. So effectively, all foreclosures and evictions from foreclosures are going to be put in place and not able to move forward until after December 31st. All right, that's where we are. So tomorrow the actual CDC order gets posted. I have an unpublished version that they always do, so people can see what's coming. Tomorrow it gets posted, and then people will be told, what they need to do to make sure they're covered. And I've mentioned in these past videos that you have to file a motion in the CDC order. It actually says here's a declaration form that you must include in your case file. And I'm sure there's a lot of people in the eviction process are going, what do you mean case file? What do you mean motion? What do you mean declaration form? Yeah, you're going to have to talk to a lawyer. I said that yesterday. You're going to have to talk to a lawyer, legal aid, take a shot at it yourself. One of those three things, and you're going to have to act quickly, especially if you're basically already in play. Those of you who are not in play yet, you may have some time. You got some time to figure out what to do, because even the eviction lawyers I've been speaking to, I was on a forum this morning, and there was a major eviction attorney on. He was talking about the eviction, trying to help landlords, and he got to this part in his presentation, and he went, but all bets are up. I have no idea. He goes, I've been practicing law for 25 years. I've done over 8,000 eviction cases. And he looked at this right in the camera and went, but we're in uncharted territory here. We are completely in uncharted territory. They don't know how things are going to react because there's so much discretion being put in the judge's hands. And even then, the judges are scratching their head and going, what is this CDC thing? Is it even something we can consider? Well, until otherwise, it now becomes how things are going to be run. There's probably going to be certain states that ignore it. But in the election year, unless you have a solid footing electorally, one way or the other, I don't think anyone's going to mess with this. I don't think anyone is going to touch it. They're going to bitch and moan about it, but I don't think they're actually going to mess with it. So here in South Florida, and I just want to bring this up real quick, we had something else happen today. And what happened today was Palm Beach County is now moving into phase 2 of Florida's reopening. And that's going to happen on Monday. I believe Monday is the 8th, Monday or Tuesday. And at this point, Tuesday, it's going to begin opening more and more and more entertainment options to the people here in Palm Beach County. Ooh, yeah, okay, great. Not like we've been cooped up anyway. Here in Palm Beach County, we got, the beach, and we, do what we want in restaurants. Have not had any restaurant that my wife and I have gone to. Haven't had a problem going in, getting a table, having a great meal. These people in here in South Florida, especially in Palm Beach County where I am, have done great to accommodate us. Just some fine restaurants here in the Boca area, and nobody has noticed anything about the corona. Yeah, you've got to walk in with the mask until you're seated, which makes complete no sense whatsoever. I can come in the door with the mask, but as soon as I sit, whipping that thing off. And I'm also, at that point, dining with my lovely wife. Looking over at the table next to me, separated by 6 feet, and there's other people enjoying their dinners. But we're open. We're open. So what does this thing entail? I'm just going to go all the way down to the bottom. It says, DeSantis says today we're moving Palm Beach into phase 2, and it's really going to change some things here. And here's why. When you get down to the bottom of what exactly gets to be open, where is it? All right, so here we go. Movie theaters, bowling alleys, escape rooms, those are awesome. Playhouses, skating and trampoline centers for the kids, so kids are going to have some stuff to do. And other entertainment venues will be allowed. Let me see if I can raise this up for you, which is cool. So you got movie theaters, and then you also have bingo parlors, comedy clubs, and concert houses as well. Not really sure what the hell a concert house is. Haven't been to a concert house in quite some time, so I have no idea what that is. But the biggie is restaurants can go to 50% indoor capacity. That's fine. We've already been, like I said, having dinners without a problem. Retail stores, gyms, and fitness centers now can go or be open at full capacity. Everybody can get out and pump the iron now. That's big for a lot of people. But, in the interim, a lot of people bought Pelotons and different things to, gym masters to begin working out. But now you can go back to the gym full capacity. My wife would be happy because museums and libraries are open. So we're basically good to go. I mean, the Dolphins are opening with, I think, 20 or 30% capacity. I think 15,000 people can go to the game, which isn't really a restriction on the Dolphins. Maybe this year, with Tua, they may had a chance to do more. But other than that, I mean, we're open. We're open. So why do I talk about this from a real estate perspective? Well, if there's a moratorium on evictions and you've been in that process and Donald Trump just gave you a 3-month extension, well, that's 6 paychecks. If your restaurant can now do more, if your theater, museum, gym, all these people are now going to begin making money again. Do what you need to do. Bank your money. You're still going to owe every single dime your back rent as of today. That's one of the problems we're seeing. So we're opening. We're taking that path. I'm not sure when Miami-Dade gets there. I think Broward's going into phase 2 as well. Other parts of the state, man, they've been in phase 2, phase 3. You don't hear many stories about Universal and Disney, but they've been open. There's people making money. I'm getting text. Boom. There's things happening. And football. As much as they tried, the SEC, down here where we live, and also the ACC, since we got Miami in the ACC, is playing. We're going to have college football. Last weekend, I found myself in amazement. I had on ESPN for the first time in months, and I was watching a football game, a high school football game, in Ohio, where Ohio State can't play. It's nuts, and it was great. And then later on in the evening, we saw, I guess, Austin P and Central Arkansas were playing. Great game. Nobody was diagnosed with the Rona after the game. None of the players. So it's football season. It opens up this weekend. Coincides with restaurants opening up here in phase 2. We're open. So from a real estate perspective, people are going to be making money again. That means they're going to be able to hopefully begin paying the rent. Nobody, just so you know, nobody wants to not pay the rent. I should take that back. I'm sure there's probably a few people who skate around and don't want to pay. But we're open, baby. And in the next segment, we're going to go over exactly why people are having a problem with this and why it's a good deal for America. Be right back.
Your source for profit. Hear what you need to know to succeed in today's real estate market.
So I used to worry when I started doing this, how am I going to talk for 15, 20, 30, 40 minutes? Do I even want to talk for 15, 30, 40 minutes? Are people going to watch? Now I don't understand how I could even do something for 2 or 3 minutes. It would have to be just a quick hit in and out, which might be fine. Some of you guys say this guy's a blowhard, he talks too much, but I'm loving this. So let's get down to some brass tacks, if you will. So when Trump dropped the eviction ban, initially, people understood what was happening, but now they're not too comfortable with what's going on. This is like freaking some people out, and I told you this was going to happen. I said, listen to all the rosy statements made by realtors and realtor organizations because everything is great, and nobody ever looks down the road to see if the bridge is out. They never do. It's all about now. Hey, yeah, the contracts are up. Things are going great. I don't understand, why people think that we might have a problem where mortgage applications are through the roof. And I always look down the road and go, but do you see what's down the road? Do you see the bridge out? Nope, everything's fine. Everything's great. We're making money. And I told you how nobody was talking about this backlog of foreclosures and evictions and the problem moving forward. Nobody wanted to talk about it. How many thousands of foreclosures are going to hit the market eventually? Now it just got pushed back again. It just got pushed back to January at minimum, but it's coming. So, Barry, why does it matter if I can make money now? Well, if you can get in, buy and sell, do it. Go for it. In fact, that's what we're doing. We're buying right now. We're finding those properties that make the most sense. We're finding those properties that we can jump into and turn really quickly. And if we can turn them really quickly and make, 20, 30, 40 grand, boom, get in, get out, get in, get out. Strike like a mamba. Do it. But if you're looking at something long term, you might want to check out what's coming down the road. a whole lot of inventory that's definitely going to impact value. Simple supply and demand. More properties are going to cause property values to go down. Supply and demand 101. So, I'm seeing that, now we're seeing stories afterwards where people are starting to see that this might just be a problem. Something might just be wrong here. And what I'm finding here as I look at this stuff is that we're seeing that both sides are upset. Landlords obviously completely ticked off because, hey man, what do you mean I can't collect rent for months? And on the other side, you've got tenant advocates who are screaming, well, what about this big bill that's coming due in December? What are people going to do? So when you see both sides ticked off, what does that usually mean? What does it usually mean when you hear that both sides are ticked off in a deal? It means it's a good deal. It means that's the definition of compromise. I didn't get what I wanted. You didn't get what you wanted, but we settled somewhere in between. And right now, that's where we are. Landlords, I'm sorry. Right now, if you've got people who haven't paid or can't pay, they're not going to have to pay for another 3 months. Swallow it. Be ready. Tenant advocates, grow up. Your people haven't paid. I'm sure they've had some problems, but it's not the landlord's position to have to subsidize it. So what do you do at this point? Well, I think the next big movement, again, if we're talking about crystal ball territory, if we're talking about, what's coming next, and if we talk about what's coming next and we say, hey, here's what's coming next, we are probably going to see some sort of, agreement made where there's some amount of funds that go to pay the landlords and to pay for tenants not have to be stuck with these huge bills, which is basically going to put them in debtor's prison. So something's going to have to happen. I mentioned yesterday, again, my prognostication, the easiest way to fix this would be to do it with tax credits. Hey, Mr. Landlord, what are you out? I'm owed 10 grand with fees and everything. So we're not going to touch your fees. You're not out that. What are you out in rent? Oh, I'm out, $7,500. Okay, so we're going to give you $7,500 in tax credit. We're going to wipe Joe Renter's debt from, make it clean. And now you can just use that $7,500 like cash and pay your tax bill. Pay it down. If you owe $30,000 in taxes this year, you now owe, $22,500. I'm not talking a tax deduction. I'm talking a tax credit. You actually apply it and take it off your bill. Why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't somebody actually think that's a good idea? So as you start reading some of these things, then you see that, your buddies from the National Association of Realtors who I just feel walked into this head on, didn't make any preliminary statement, saw this rental, what happened here? Saw the rental problems that were going on in the market and didn't do anything to tell their clients, hey, listen, something's going to happen. I almost think it's malpractice if you're a realtor and you didn't advise your client who had the rental this was coming. That to me, that's professional malpractice. So National Association of Realtors decides that they're going to speak out. And here's what Vince Malta says. This National Association of Realtors President Vince Malta, a San Francisco real estate broker, I don't know how he didn't see it coming, warned that the eviction ban as written will bring chaos to our nation's critical rental housing sector and put countless property owners out of business. It's September 3rd. It's September 3rd here at 5:55. Hey, Vince, I got a question for you, Vince. You as the president of the National Association of Realtors, who has Lawrence Yun down the hall, who's your economic guru, who has access to a lot more data than I have. There's a lot more data. You're telling me that it wasn't till today that you realize that landlords are in deep shit. You just realize that today. What is there? Millions of realtors? Many represent rental properties on the market. And nobody told anybody that, hey, there's something going on here. Yeah, I'm concerned that as we rent these properties, that we might get stuck. You just realize that now? I think we've been in a pandemic lockdown since January, February. And you're just now saying to everybody, hey man, I think this is going to cause chaos in the rental market. No shit, Sherlock. When DeSantis did the first moratorium, then the second, then the third, then the fourth, then the fifth, and you didn't see anything about it. You don't think that landlords were screwed 3 or 4 months ago? You're just now making a statement because the CDC pushes it to December? Wow. How do I get your job? How do I get the job that you have advising realtors, putting out statements, prognosticating on the real estate market, and you not see what's coming? How did Lawrence not understand the data behind everything? Like I said earlier, realtors, many of them, only look at the rosy forecast. They don't ever tell you we're about to reach a cliff. I have been doing this for 25 years. I have yet to have a realtor call me and go, hey, I have this property and I think I'm having a problem with it. Is there anything you can take a look at? You know what? I lied. I have. I have had many realtors, as I was just going through that scenario, who've called me and said, can you do something about this property? I've listed it for 6 months and I'm chasing the market down. I've lowered it. It's got code violations. It's got all kinds of problems. Can you help me out here? Can you get this deal closed? Yeah, I can get it closed. It's going to cost you, but I can get it closed. Those are the realtors whose weight is worth gold because they're honest and they're coming to you with deals. On the other hand, when people just sit back and say everything is great, talk to a realtor, they're going to show you how you can find the home of your dreams in any market. And you want to just slap them. You want to take them and go, what the frig are you talking about? Everything's great. Seriously, everything. No, it's not great. And when you find out that things have basically pooped the bed, it is way too late. And you get statements like this that say, this is going to bring chaos to the market. What do we do? I'll tell you what you do. You get your big boy pants on, you call your landlord clients, and you say, strap in, and you fight with fire and try to get these tax credits, and you try to bail them out. Or if your landlord clients are in trouble because their tenant hasn't paid, then you call guys like me. Either way, you don't want to add to the statistic. It's unfortunate, but at this point, the landlords have to act. If you can hold out through December, then fine. If you're thinking that you may get a tax credit or some sort of bailout, like they've done with the airline industry, then fine. But if you're cash strapped and don't know what to do, that's when you call guys like me. Yesterday, I was riding around looking at some properties. I had the realtors I work with send me a list of properties to go look at. And I was amazed. And what I was amazed at is I found 5 or 6 quadplexes, 4plexes, completely vacant. Asked the realtor, why are they vacant? And he said, owner wants to sell, doesn't want to get in a situation where they put people in it and they can't get them out. So they're just going to leave them vacant until the property sells. Smart guy. Absolute smart guy. So the rest of you out there, you got 2 choices. Surf it and ride it out and just accept that this is what it is. Complain to your realtor for not telling you about it. Or sell. That's it. Put the big boy pants on, big girl pants on, suck it up, or sell. There's no other alternatives. And then you hope that the government or somebody steps in and makes you whole. But as of today, on September 3rd, those are your only two choices. Suck it up or sell. And if you sell, you're going to take a hit there because no one's going to want to take a property with a tenant that's in the property that they can't get out. But I told you, and I'm not going to tell you today, I'm going to let you go back and find it yesterday, what the secret is to making sure that works as well. There's a little trick that I use. It's not really a trick, it's a strategy. It works amazingly well. Said it in yesterday's video. But if you call me, and you let me know you've got something you want to sell. Give me all the details, and I'll see if I can't make it work. We've been swamped with people calling us. It's amazing. I didn't realize this was going to reach so many people, but it has, and I enjoy that. So, so the realtors, they don't seem to understand what's going on. He's just finding out. And then on the other side of the coin, you've got the National Housing Conference. These people are ticked off because it didn't go far enough. Whether it's 3 months from now or 6 months from now or a year from now, a year. They're already advocating for a year. We're having millions of people be evicted because they can't pay a year's worth of rent is not a solution. Well, I don't think nobody's talking about cancellation of rent. That would be insane. That's what these tenant advocate groups are calling for. They want stuff just wiped out. Let's just wipe the slate clean. Or let's never have rent. And, if one candidate happens to win in November, that might be the case. That might be the case right there. They will, quote, cancel rent. Could you imagine what would happen there? Now I'm going to ask you a second question. If you can't imagine it, try and imagine it. And number two, has your realtor, your agent who's been working for you, mentioned to you what would happen if they cancel rent? What would you do? Yeah, that's scary. But there's a way you make money there as well. And so you got to learn to hedge your bets. So I'm going to lean in and tell you a quick tip as to what you do in all this chaos. Some of you are probably already too far gone, but it's what we're doing. Let the government pay you. It really is that simple. Let the government pay you. Are you familiar with Section 8? Right now, if you're in a position where you don't want to risk it or you're not sure what kind of tenant is coming your way, go Section 8. It's a home run. Every 15th of the month, the wire transfer hits your deposit. Boom. You've been paid by the government. Trump's not going to kill it. Biden's not going to kill it. Section 8 is in all this volatility in the market, the craziness is the one thing that you can probably do, that you can do to really offset losses. Now, in certain areas, it's not going to cover the rent on the property. If you're looking to get $3,000 a month and it tops out at, $2,100, you're going to be out $900 a month. But you're still going to get $2,100. $2,000 a month times 12 is $24,000 in rent from the government. If you own a $400,000 house, that's about a 6% return, guaranteed. Guaranteed. This is coming directly from the Treasury Department into your account. That's not going to stop. If you had a $300,000 house that you could rent out for $2,000 a month, again, that's $24,000. That's 8%. Guaranteed. Now, you still got to screen your tenants and make sure you're not bringing in people who are going to tear up the joint, because then you do have the wear and tear that you have to, worry about. But how safe is that? I mean, even if you had a $500,000 house, and you get $2,000, that's $24,000. You're at 5%. You can't get that in the bank. Think about that. Right now, and you only sign a 1-year lease. That'll take us to, this time next year. But you're surfing with some safety. No big shark coming to eat you. Every single month, government pays your rent. I would look at that right now if I was a landlord with vacant property. There are a ton of people looking for properties, a ton of people who have the vouchers. They would love to look at and move into a nice place. That's a friggin' gold mine right now. I'm seeing, the board of realtors scream, "Oh my God, these landlords are going to go out of business." Did you not tell them what they could do? But Barry, they've got existing tenants that won't leave. Go ahead and watch yesterday's video. I told you how the existing tenants would leave. So if you have a vacant property that you're afraid to put on the market, go ahead, put it on Section 8, rent it out, see what the comps are in the market, put it in and work with the government, the housing authority in your area, and put tenants in there that have guaranteed rent. You still have to do all of your due diligence, make sure that it's good people in a bad situation. You don't want to bring somebody in there with 19 kids and a boyfriend who deals drugs. No, you get rid of that. You talk to some people who are good people. Good people who just happen to be in bad situations. You're going to find a lot of that as well who are in eviction court. If you take my strategy from yesterday, you're going to be able to begin looking and talking to people right away. There's so many candidates. I mean, think about it. Here's something you can do today. Go to Broward County, whatever list, and look at all the people in eviction court. They're going to need a place to live. They're running up massive debt. They're not going to know what to do. And send them a letter. "Hey, Susie and John, I understand you're in a bad predicament. Would you be interested in moving into a new place? Here's what I can offer you." You got a lead list. It's going to take some work, some elbow grease, but wow. Get a virtual assistant, download the list, send them a letter, and start building a rapport. Start building a database of people, good people in bad situations. Everybody would enjoy a start over. Yeah, you're going to find some idiots who are working and gaming the system, but they're 4 months behind because they haven't been able to work. And now all of a sudden, with Palm Beach County going into phase 2, they're going to be working again. Contact restaurants, movie theaters, museums. Hey, does any of your staff need a place to live? You recommend, I've got some rental property, but I want to make sure that people can afford to move back in. And now that you guys are opening up again, there might be an opportunity for me to provide them with a place to live. Anybody might be interested in? Creativity. Don't be the realtor who goes, "Oh my God, this is chaos for my tenants. For my landlord clients." It's only chaos because you don't know how to adapt. Look up this term called, and I'm just going to say it. Look up the law of diffusion of innovation. The law of diffusion of innovation. You're going to see this thing called a bell curve. There's a ton of pictures if you just go ahead and basically Google that. I'm wondering if I can show it to you right now if you have a chance. And I want to show you something, and it's an immutable law that tells you what things are. And sorry for typing this thing. Okay, so it's called the law of diffusion of innovation. And there's just a ton of images here that you can pick. And so basically, we just pick this one. It's clean, it's easy, and where is it? Boom, it's right here. All right, this is a theory that you can apply to real estate. People like, "Barry, you're getting into weeds here. You're all kinds of into weeds here, Barry. What am I supposed to do?" Okay, so basically what I want you to do is put yourself and let the law of diffusion of innovation help you in real estate. With everybody screaming, "Oh my God, what do I do?" And with Realtor, the president of the Realtor Board's National Association of Realtor going, "Oh my God, this is going to be the end of it for my clients." Be that person who can come up with an idea. Innovate. Think about that. The law of diffusion of innovation. You're gonna move, adapt. And so what it says is very quickly, and this was just off the top of my head. I wasn't even, thinking about doing this until I started talking about it. What it says is that there's 2.5% of the population. First of all, we are all on this curve, depending on where we are with everything. Me learning how to play guitar or playing guitar, I'm somewhere along here. My wife deciding she wants to cook something. We are all on this curve in some way or fashion in our life. So in real estate, where we are right now, we know we have a problem. We have a huge problem. We have a problem of epic proportions. So are you going to just let it happen, or are you going to innovate? Are you going to find a way using creativity to get around these issues? That's where the money is. And so if you try something different, 2.5% of the people right now in a profession, let's say real estate, are innovators. You're doing something different. I do this show. I'm innovating. I'm doing something different than you wouldn't ordinarily see with people in the real estate business. There's a whole lot of reasons why, but right now I'm in that 2.5% on the front end. Then you're going to start seeing more and more people come into it. At 13.5%, that 13.5% are called your early adopters. These are people who see other people doing it and go, that's not a bad idea. Talking to people who are currently in the foreclosure or eviction process, creating a lead list from them and contacting them because there may be good people in a bad situation. That Barry guy's got something going right there. That's an amazing idea. The law of diffusion of innovation. Then you have this point here, which is called the tipping point. That's when other people start seeing people like myself and the other 13.5% and going, whoa, this really makes sense. We really need to jump on that. That's called 18% or so, and that's a tipping point. That's when you start seeing a lot of people doing it and realizing, this makes some sense. I need to jump on maybe doing my own live show. I need to start talking to a different breed of lead. I need to start contacting people who are in foreclosure or in an eviction process, realizing that there are good people in bad situations, sending them some letters, talking to them this way, hitting them up with Facebook ads, Google search ads, doing things where I'm directing to these people. Just a simple ad. Hey, are you in foreclosure or in the eviction process? I can help you. I'm looking to put people in my vacant homes. I'm looking for good people in bad situations. Are you interested in possibly moving on with your life with no debt? Give me a call. I did that ad lib right now. That's an ad I would be running once I get it approved by Facebook, of course. But then after you have that tipping point, you have 34%, which is your early majority. That's when it starts getting mainstream adaptation. Then, of course, after it's been going for a while, probably next June, you see 34% is your late majority. And that's when it starts showing up in the trades. Hey, there's this novel idea that people have. They're going to contact people in foreclosure and evictions and start talking to them as a lead. Then you got your laggards. You've ever heard the video from Simon Sinek? He goes, those people who are laggards, they still have rotary dial phones. They just haven't understood that they can use, smartphones and stuff yet. This whole idea of walking around with a smartphone hasn't really been something that they're interested in or understand. Be on the front end. I know I've gone a little bit long here, and I know I'm in the weeds. I didn't really expect to be talking about the law of diffusion of innovation, but that's what it is. We're in a time right now where millions are going to be made over the next 12 to 18 months by those people who adapt and innovate. The economy as we knew it is gone. Everybody who's done things the same old way, you're in trouble. You're still riding a buggy whip. Things are new. This is different. Look at the schooling. Look at what's happened. People aren't even going to offices anymore. They've all learned to do things by Zoom. How did that happen? We're talking you know how long it took me to get the software I used, to get the equipment? I had to use a webcam for the first, 2.5 months of doing this because I couldn't get it. It was in such high demand. All of the equipment I use now is like 3 and 4 times as expensive as when I first bought it. I remember I was looking for this device that allows me to basically stream live with a DSLR camera versus a webcam. I bought the piece of equipment in mid-March. It took until early June for it to show up. That's because there are some innovators out there. There are some people out there going, hey, we need to get into this. And you got other people going back, oh, that's not how we market. That's not how we do things. And, I've shown it before. And then you get this magazine that comes out, Florida Realtor magazine, that's got all these great ideas on what to do. Come on. By the time that magazine comes out next month, it's too late. The one thing nobody ever talks about is how to generate leads from chaos. Leads from chaos. Lots of people in foreclosure, lots of people in the eviction process. Some of them may not even have attorneys. Just being able to talk to somebody who's willing to help them is going to endear them to you. You might not be able to even put them in one of your properties. But at least you can try. At least you can try, can't you? People call us bottom feeders, investors like myself, but they don't know all the stuff we do behind the scenes. Yeah, I'm going to go in and swoop in and buy some properties really cheap, but then I'm going to make money by helping somebody. It's what we do. It's how we make our money that determines what kind of people we are. People need our help. The government is trying to do what they can do. There are people pissed off because, it sounds like a stunt. I mean, how does it sound like a stunt? If you were 5 months behind in your rent and you're about to get bounced out and the president says, hey, listen, we need to help these people. We need to push it back for 3 months. How is that a stunt? If you had this sword of Damocles hanging over your head and somebody took it away, you don't care what political party they are. It's just, whew, now what do I do? Now you know what to do. You're seeing me talk about these things, and you have to look behind the scenes. There's a reason why I talked about Palm Beach County going into phase 2. That tells me more people are going to be working. That tells me some people are going to be looking for places to live. If the employees can't come back, they're going to have to hire new people. How many times have you talked to a restaurant about giving their employees someplace to live? Screw that. They're managers. This thing has affected so many people over the last 6 or 7 months that you basically, if you just take the time to adapt and think of things a different way, you can make a ton of money. And that's what this is all about for people who invest in real estate. Investing. Not scalping, not gouging, investing. Get out there and see what you can do. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'd love to help you. I'd love to figure out if there's anything I can do to help you learn how to get through, how to find these leads, how to talk to people, how to find these deals. Tomorrow's show, all I'm talking about is deals. No news. It's Friday. We're going to talk deal of the week. I'm actually going to show you a few deals. I'm going to pull apart how I look at deals, and I'm going to let you tell me if it's a deal or it's no deal. Deal or no deal? You decide. Talk to you guys tomorrow, and thanks for watching.
Your source for profit. Hear what you need to know to succeed in today's real estate market.